Welcome to the show. Info at your door. We got all info for you. Touchdown on that plane. Info in a plane. More than just a podcast for you.
So, moving right along, next question. Deion Sanders has been in the news this week. And so I'm going to ask, because he did offer his son officially this week, if Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur, actually decommits from FAU and joins his dad at Jackson State University, do we think as panelists that Deion Sanders is in it for the HBCUs, or is it about giving his own son a platform, kind of like daddy's ball, because he has been coaching his son since youth football?
I'm gonna go ahead.
I want to go first. Don't even try, Randy. Don't even try.
Go ahead.
No, I'm taking this platform. Oh yeah. Listen to me. You know what? Listen. No. Absolutely not. Deion, I'm proud of you. Shedeur, listen, do what you have to do, but you better accept that scholarship to Jackson State, because you can change the outcome of HBCUs. Your dad's already taken the platform to do it. It's amazing that you're doing it. Listen, man, FAU, that's cool, but listen, you want a platform, go to Jackson State. I'm telling you right now, it's a big step. Deion, listen, he did play for his dad. His dad was the OC. Did you see how many touchdowns he threw last year? 47. Listen, Shedeur, you had 3 interceptions, 47 touchdowns. Go play for your daddy. You'll do the same thing in the SWAC, and you got my backing. And you know what? Bring all your friends with you. Bring all them guys down there. What is it, Trinity? No, they actually have a name for it, too. I can't remember what the name of his high school was, but all them players, too, down there, bring them with you. And let's go. Let's change the HBCU. Let's make it great again, because it's not great right now. It's lacking, so let's bring them all.
Bad terminology.
Okay.
I had to say it because I knew you were looking at me.
So these are two different things. So now we're talking about making the HBCU great versus a father and a dad. All right. Now, if I got to compare the two and put the two on different levels, I'm saying the father and dad scenario is more important than the HBCU scenario. I'm switching it down. That's just my opinion. And the reason I say that is because that's why I made my podcast called Daddy's Ball. And he has been coaching his son since he's been in Pop Warner. He's never been coached pretty much by anybody else. If this does happen, I don't like it. I don't like the message, because this happens every day in our community. And what happens is parents ruin kids. They ruin kids by coaching them at different levels and letting them do different things they want to do. And when they got out into the real world, not even speak sports, they can't handle it because the dad is not there or whatever. So that's my problem with the issue. I love for the HBCU to be great, but I'm just taking the dad-son scenario over that issue. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
Well, let's go.
Let me tell you, if you go out in the social space, it's people trying to hey, Deion, I want to be on your staff. It's crazy. Just last night, Emmitt Smith, is like, hey, you need a running back coach? Holla at me. Who's doing that? No other college coach has so many different NFL greats that are saying we are willing to come and help. And what a parent wants is an NFL-ready product. Deion has the opportunity, even if he has his son there, he has the opportunity to create NFL-ready product just like Nick Saban does. And that's a huge thing. Just now, this week, his first commit is a Mississippi State guy who decommitted Mississippi State, and his son come home to Jackson. That's a huge get. You're leaving the SEC so that you can go play in the SWAC. That's what people wanted. So I believe that it's, regardless of whether he plays for him or not, we're already seeing, go out there, kids are sending him film. Coaches from around the country are like, I want to come coach for you. Ain't nobody stalking Bill Belichick talking about, hey, dog, can I get a job? Like, it's just not happening in that manner. And I like it. I think it's very, very good for the HBCUs. It's already raising their visibility. It's going to be an amazing thing. I'm curious to see what the staff looks like, because I think that what's going to happen is Jackson State is going to be the version of the HBCU version of DBU. And let's be honest, Shedeur Sanders is already working out with Tom Brady. ain't nothing that there's nothing that Deion's gonna do for what other dad is going out to current NFL players, future Hall of Famers, and saying, "Hey, will you work out with my son? Teach him how to be a QB." And they're like, "Yep, I'm coming." So,
but that's the whole problem. That's the whole problem with Daddy's ball. You get all this stuff, and he's not. To tell you the truth, he's not that good. He's not a top 20 quarterback in the country. Trinity, my son goes to the Red Trinity Christian, and Deion Sanders knows that. When I talked to him, I told him if we the Red Trinity Christian, he built that school or whatever like that, and they doing their thing now. But our Trinity Christian in Jacksonville is definitely the Red Trinity Christian. But I'm trying to tell you, all that favoritism stuff that he's doing for his son, watch how that works when he finally has to play without his dad and without his dad.
But you know what, Randy, I totally disagree with that, because what's the difference in, again, just like we talked about with, sponsors and stuff. You know how many people fund money into schools to get their kids accepted into schools that they don't deserve to go to and whatnot, and the coaches favor them and when they really pale in comparison to somebody who they've given a scholarship to who actually earned it. So I don't think it's any different.
In college football, you talking about?
Absolutely, in college football, baby. It's follow the money. Like, follow the boosters. Follow those guys who are at everything, who get the same rings that the team gets when they get the championship. It's no different. The thing I'm excited about, though, is that this is Deion Sanders, who has proven somewhat that he can coach at least on this Christian high school level and whatnot. I agree, maybe his son isn't the best, but his son's going to get the same eyes on him that a guy who, because there's a lot of guys who I don't feel like they are the best, or we don't feel like are the best, and they're 5 stars, and they're this, that, and the other. You know why? Because it's hype. Like, what's the guy's name? Kuiper, who does this thing. That dude is so wrong most of the time on his freaking picks for the draft and this, that, and the other, but because he's giving them hype, the league is like, oh yeah, we're gonna go with them, blah blah blah. But you know what the NFL is really composed of? A lot of 2 and 3 stars, not these 5 stars. They might get that money first round, but they don't last because they don't have the heart, they don't have the work ethic, and so on and so forth. So I feel like Deion, not only is he in a position to put the HBCUs back in the forefront, like people looking at an HBCU, that is huge. But why not do it with your son? He has been coaching his son. You may say his son ain't that good, but because he's Deion Sanders' son, and because Deion Sanders is gonna definitely put him in a position to shine, he's gonna have an opportunity to go as a top pick from an HBCU. I think that's win-win across the board.
They don't care about him being Deion Sanders' son in the NFL, in my opinion.
You can say that all you want.
No, they don't. No, they trying to win, y'all. They trying to win. They don't. Y'all think they care? They don't care about the names. They trying to win.
But he's won. Like, he's won, and if he
Hold
wins,
on, they don't care about the name. Hold on, man. Brett Rippin's in the NFL, bro. Who is Brett Rippin? Have you ever watched that kid play? And you say Deion's kid can't get in the league?
No. I'm saying he's not a top 20 quarterback right now.
Joe Montana's son got a chance in the league. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
Okay.
Listen, you gonna get it. Listen, one thing about Deion Sanders, you know what Deion Sanders gonna bring to Jackson? He's gonna bring NFL scouts. And you want to know how you get him into the NFL? You need NFL scouts there. He's gonna have people at that game because they're gonna be.
He's number 14, Randy. He's number 14, so he is a top 20 QB.
Number 14, hey. What? Profile number 14, what?
4-star.
On what website you looking at?
24/7.
Composite.
We don't care about all that. Listen, they all just make up stuff. Half of them are wrong anyway. She said it. 24/7 max preps, they're all wrong. They all make mistakes. Listen, Deion Sanders, do your right thing. Get your son there.
Nah.
The number of NFL players, the number of NFL, like, he has personal relationships with these people. That's huge. Even if Shedeur doesn't work out in the NFL, how many times have people put together 7-on-7 teams and it's one star person, but they go to see the star, but they get to see your son, who's, you might not know this experience, Randy, because of who your son is, but there are tons of parents who have kids who have no stars or 2 stars and 3 stars, and their kids get looked at because college coaches are coming to see the big dog. I'm never going to knock an opportunity for exposure. And that's the one thing we talked about before on the show, that NFL scouts maybe they showed up, but perhaps they didn't think that the quality of product was there. But you're already seeing people at least one person transfer from a Power 5 school to want to go play for him because of who he can put around them. That's huge, in my opinion. I think that's more than the daddy's problem. But we shall see.
Okay, we should see.
Moving along. So, with Giannis winning the MVP this year and doing rather poorly, Ren said terrible, but rather poorly in the playoffs, one of our panelists posed the question: should an NBA MVP should we have to look at their entire body of work in season and postseason before we make the decision of whether or not they're really the league MVP for that year?
No.
I say look at both, because like my kids, they think all these players like I'm trying to think the players on the Houston Rockets. But all these players today, they think that they're so good because they do good and break records in the regular season, but in the playoffs they don't do nothing. In the playoffs they don't do nothing. A lot of these players don't even make it to the finals. Like not the finals, the Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, but they breaking all these triple double records and all this kind of stuff. I just feel like it's nowhere in the world that he gets all those votes. He got hurt in the postseason this year, and then LeBron don't get any votes. It's crazy, man. I think that's crazy. I think that they should take the whole resume, because people don't really start playing defense in the playoffs. Tell you the truth.
Oh, come on. Really?
They don't. Look at it.
Wow.
Go watch the game tonight. Go watch the game tonight.
Well, the Western Conference don't play defense anyway. That's why their points be like 130, 150 points. Okay, so the defense is on the East Coast. Let's get it right. But no, I disagree. Like, because again, you cannot. So first off, you have to start with the fact that MVP is an individual award. It is an individual award. So when you look at the fact that when you choose an MVP, you're looking at that person, how they're competing on that team, what their numbers are. And I'm sure James Dutta might read his stats or compare his stats to LeBron's or something like this, but it sounds like, Bron fans are crying because he didn't get it when he's got it and whatever. And yes, he is in the postseason. He has everything around him. Giannis, on the other hand, did not. And like you said, he did get hurt, but don't disrespect his numbers and don't make it about the postseason, because you can be on a star team. Again, think about who gets the first picks in the draft, right? So usually it's the sorrier teams, right? So because you go to a team, that means that they got to start putting pieces around you, unless you LeBron, and then you like, I want this one and this one and this one. So everybody don't get that luxury. Everybody ain't King James. But what I'm saying is, why look at the postseason? Because you can go to a sorry team, i.e., what's my boy from South Carolina, who's in New Orleans right now. He wasn't gonna make it, but at the same time, he had some injuries and this, that, and the other, so his numbers weren't there. But he would have been in the running had he been healthy all year. But again, New Orleans wasn't going nowhere. Like they want, you just kind of know that they're not going anywhere. So why put the postseason in it? You gotta look at just their body of work in the regular season. I think that they're judging it right. Congratulations, Giannis. I think it's well deserved. Shout out to the Bucks, who ain't in the postseason.
Here's my thing. Here's my take on it. Angela said it. It is an individual award. If you remove Giannis from the Bucks, what happens? They win 8 games? Okay, then they don't even make the playoffs. So individual effort, when it comes to most valuable player, is who is the most valuable player to that team.
Right.
And if without him, they would be bums. That's when LeBron James goes on the bench. Hold on, and I'm a LeBron fan. When LeBron James goes to the bench, the little white boy Alex Caruso comes in, and they always come back. Yes, say I'm lying. And they come in, when they put in them bums, Alex Caruso, the little kid, Rondo, kids that aren't even good, and they put them in. Why do they always bring them back? Like, let's not, no. Giannis don't have that help. Yes, I'm giving Alex Caruso love. Thank you, Alex Caruso. If you see this, man, send me a glove, send me something, some sign. And nobody rooting for you but me, okay? But listen, Giannis is the MVP. Give him the MVP and keep going. LeBron's got a stat. Anybody can win with them dudes.
But keep in mind though. But keep in mind that they didn't win in the playoffs until Giannis got hurt. They won their first game that series when Giannis got hurt. So that might not be true what you're saying. I'm just saying. Keep in mind.
But if he was out for 16 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever, 16 games, what would the Bucks have been in the playoffs?
In the East, yes.
Thank you.
In the East, yes.
No.
Whatever. I'm just gonna say that the postseason already has an MVP. Every finals has an MVP. So the season is set up where the person who works hard during the season is rewarded, and should you make it to the playoffs, you're rewarded there. There's an opportunity to be rewarded there as well. Why do we need to say, well, okay, we're going to expand it? So what do? Do we take the finals MVP award away? Since we're looking at if we do change it and we consider the entire season, including postseason, so do we say, nope, we're not going to give anybody a finals MVP because you know what, your time in the playoffs, that's covered under we're using that to determine whether or not you're worthy to be the MVP of the league. Like, no. No.
I was saying the finals MVP is the person who is the MVP of the championship game only. That's what they are.
I mean, Randy Hudge, what are you talking about? No.
Yes, it is.
It is, but at the same time, so if you're in the postseason, you have an opportunity to be that.
They're reviewing your body of work. It's not, did I do well one game in the playoffs? They're taking out the body of work. And so you have two awards that take into account two different bodies of work, and I don't think that they should be combined.
And real quick, so Damon, don't you ever disrespect Rondo, yo. He'll always be a Celtic to me. So first off, playoff Rondo, y'all are, whoever's a Laker fan, y'all are lucky to have my boy, and I'm so super pissed off that he's wearing a freaking purple jersey. Oh.